Hi, let me update you on UNESCO's strategic decision-making process by focusing on the structured financing dialogues that UNESCO is currently putting into place. UNESCO, like any other international organization, is a budget that is used to pay for the implementation of a program with all the expected results in it or objectives. You might expect that when member states gather to discuss how this can be used best to implement this, that they discuss the whole budget. Well, they don't. They only discuss approximately half of it, and they call it the regular budget. And this is composed of the mandatory contributions that member states pay to UNESCO. What they do not discuss is the extra budgetary or voluntary part of the contribution that is paid by member states who decide to give some extra money to UNESCO for extra activities. So this is never discussed in central and strategic budget discussions at UNESCO. Now, this is discussed in secret, parallel, bilateral discussions between UNESCO and each member state individually. For example, UNESCO asks the Netherlands, what are your national priorities? And what expected results would you like to finance given your national priorities? Well, the Netherlands answers, water is very important for us. So we would like to spend some extra budget on UNESCO's water activities. And the same is done with Australia and Japan and Mexico, etc., who also spend some extra budgetary budget on the expected results that they like given their national priorities. So what you get is a scattered series of 195 budget discussions, hoping that all this will end up in one coherent extra budgetary voluntary spending plan that nicely fits with this program of UNESCO and that also nicely complements the regular budget that UNESCO already has. Well, that is not for sure that this will nicely fit together, because when you only talk to member states individually about their national priorities, you never give them a chance to see the full picture, and you never motivate them to adjust their individual spendings to the specific needs of this big picture, of this program, because you only look at national priorities. Now, the SFD, the Strategic Financing Dialogues, wants to change this by integrating all these individual budget discussions and these central strategic budget discussions into one big budget discussion about one big budget that comprises both the regular budget and the voluntary budget, in one discussion about the question how this money that is owned by the international community can be used in the most optimal and effective way to implement UNESCO's program with all the expected results in it. So in other words, the SFD wants to create one big picture discussion about how the money owned by the international community can be spent to solve their international problems that they will never be able to solve each country on their own. For example, a tsunami cannot be solved, cannot be dealt with by a country on its own. And to create education for all the children in the world is also very difficult to do that on your own. So by creating this big picture strategic discussion about how to use this money to implement this, you create the best conditions for results, meaning better development, meaning more dialogue, meaning more chances of peace. So in short, the strategic financing dialogues must help member states to see that UNESCO is not just a tool to implement their national priorities, but that it's an international platform to use their international money that they own together to solve their international problems. This must give member states ownership of UNESCO as their organization for their problems instead of just a tool to look after their national priorities. I hope you like these explanations, and if you have an idea to help us implementing the structured financing dialogues, please react to this YouTube video so that we can take it into account. Thanks very much in advance.